My pupils shrank suddenly. The efficiency of the Urban Safety Bureau is so high. Locked me so soon. See the change in my expression. Captain Sheen's mouth curled up with a sneer. It seems that I'm not looking for the wrong person. Come with me, she said, and was about to reach out and grab my shoulder. I subconsciously wanted to resist. But at this moment, a flash of inspiration flashed through my mind. Rigidity is definitely not good. My strength. It's not enough for her to pinch with one finger. But maybe I can use the ability of the man in the mirror. I looked at the academic affairs office behind Captain Sheen. A huge dressing mirror hangs on the wall. His mind moved. The reflection in the mirror is activated. The next second, Captain Sheen's hand was empty. My whole body was like teleportation. Appeared out of thin air, 3 meters away. Just standing next to the dressing mirror. Everyone was stunned. Li Hao's eyes were about to pop out. Su Shui also covered her small mouth. The face was full of incredulity. What speed is this? F-class drivers can have this ability. Captain Sheen's face also showed a shocked expression for the first time. Spatial movement. She stared at me intently. The eyes were full of scrutiny and doubt. You are not an F-tier. I leaned in the mirror and looked at her and smiled slightly. Who told you that the driver can't order anything else? I deliberately put on an inscrutable look. I knew I had to show enough. Value and mystery make her fearful. Gain bargaining chips for yourself in negotiations. Really? Captain Sheen didn't act rashly anymore. She squinted and looked at me again. Who are you? What exactly is your profession? I smiled. There was no answer. Instead, he stretched out a finger and lightly tapped the mirror next to him. The mirror surface rippled like water waves. Then in everyone's astonished eyes, the clone slowly walked out of the mirror. Captain Sheen's face changed completely. On her iceberg face that has not changed for thousands of years. For the first time, he showed a solemn and excited expression. Spatial ability plus illusion or clone ability. I've never seen your type of profession. She looked at me with burning eyes. It's like looking at a rare treasure. Lin Yuan's classmate. It looks like we need to change places and have a good talk. Her tone. It has changed from an interrogation to an invitation. I breathed a sigh of relief. Right. I have shown more than they realize. Let them not dare to regard me as such. A class F waste that can be handled at will. Okay. I nodded. Then the mind moved. The clone in the mirror next to it turned into a point of light and dissipated. I followed Captain Sheen. I walked out of the academic affairs office in countless complicated eyes. A black buggy is parked in front of the school. After getting in the car, Captain Sheen didn't take me to any interrogation room. Instead, it drove directly to the city center. An ordinary-looking office building. But after entering, I realized that there was a different world. The underground here is huge. A secret base full of technology. Uniformed staff came and went. The big screen on the wall flashed. All kinds of data and maps that I can't understand. Captain Sheen led me into a separate office. Then sit across from me and get straight to the point. Lin Yuan, I would like to invite you to join us in the ninth section of the City Safety Bureau. In this world, in addition to the professional system we know, there are still some impossible, explain spooky supernatural events. For example, the silent sick building you dealt with last night. These events, we call it anecdotes. They usually come in the form of tricky domains. The rules and laws of physics are different from the real world. The strength of the regular awakened person will be greatly reduced when he enters. It can even be life-threatening. The ninth subject is specially for a department established to deal with these anomalies. I understand. To put it bluntly, it is a special team that deals with supernatural events. Why are you looking for me? Because of your ability. Captain Sheen's eyes lit up amazingly. Your system of competence is completely different from what we know. But it seems that it was born for. Exists in response to those strange rumors. You are not only safe and sound in the silent sick building. It also completely eliminated the energy core of that strange domain. This is something that none of the B-class squads we send out can do. She looked at me in a sincere tone. Lin Yuan, we need your strength. Of course, we won't let you pay in vain. Join the ninth section. You will get S-level permissions and resources. All kinds of exercises, equipment, and information will be open to you. And you have a high degree of freedom of movement. You only need to take action when there is an anomaly. You can still go to school and live normally. And most importantly, we can help you with your identity problems. Provide you with the best protection. Believe me, a special being like you. It can be dangerous if you are targeted by some unscrupulous organization. I have to say, the conditions offered by Captain Sheen were very tempting. My current strength is not strong. Weak is not weak. The midnight school bus can only run once a day. The abilities of the man in the mirror are biased towards weirdness and assistance. Frontal combat effectiveness is almost zero. If you are really targeted by some big organization, it is really troublesome. Backed by the big tree of the Urban Safety Bureau. The benefits to my current development outweigh the disadvantages. Who else is there in the ninth section besides me? Captain Sheen smiled. The ninth subject is currently very small. There are only 3 people including me, the section chief. Another member, you'll see later. He is also a very special person. Good. I joined. I didn't hesitate any longer. Captain Sheen stood up and stretched out his hand to me. Welcome Lin Yuan. From now on, you are the 3rd member of the ninth section of the Urban Safety Bureau. It was already evening when I came out of the City Safety Bureau. I have a lot on my identity band. An S-level authority certification for the ninth subject. At the same time, it is in my bank card. There's an additional 500,000 yuan in settling and fees. I looked at the balance in the card. A little transfer a while. A day ago. I was still a poor boy who worried about living expenses. A day later. I became a huge sum of 500,000 yuan. Special talents backed by state violence institutions. The big ups and downs of life are too exciting. Just as I was about to take a taxi home. My phone rang suddenly. I got the phone called. There was one on the other end of the phone. A timid but nice girl voice. Is it Lin Yuan? I am the squad leader Xiaonan. A dyke came to my mind. The image of a girl wearing black-rimmed glasses. We don't usually have much intersection. How could she call me out of the blue? Is there something wrong with the squad leader? Xiaonan's voice was a little nervous. Lin Yuan's classmate. I was in a little trouble. Can you help me? There was a hint in her voice. Uncontrollable crying and fear. I frowned. Where are you? What trouble is encountered? I am at 404, Building B, home and apartment. I was stuck. I can't get out. There is a trick here. Home and apartments. Hear the name. My heart sank suddenly. That place is also in Donghai City. A gathering place for well-known haunted houses. It is said that in that building, almost every few years, there is an unnatural death. Over time, the rent there became extremely cheap. It attracts many people who do not have a lot of money. Students and migrant workers live. But she said room 404. I remember it very well. One of the most fierce urban legends about home and apartments. It is related to the room number 404. Legend has it that the first tenant of 404 was a programmer. Because of overtime, he died suddenly in the room. Since then, everyone who lives in 404 will be heard at midnight. There was a hurried sound of knocking code outside the door. And a hoarse voice asked, "Is my code finished? If you answer or open the door, we'll be haunted by the programmer's ghost." Finally, he followed in the footsteps of endless overtime and mental torture. I immediately said to Xiaonan on the other end of the phone, "Don't be afraid. Stay in your room and lock the door. Don't open the door no matter what you hear. Don't respond either. Waiting. It's late." Xiaonan's cry became louder. I just heard a knock on the door. I thought it was takeaway. I asked who. Hearing this, my heart chuckled. Finished. She has already triggered the rules. He was outside the door. Keep knocking on the door. Keep asking me if I'm done with the code. I was so scared. Lin Yuan, come and save me. On the phone. In addition to Xiaonan's cry, I also vaguely heard a rhythmic knock on the door. And a vague one. It was like a male voice with stuck phlegm. "I'll be there soon." I immediately stopped a taxi. Go straight to the home apartment. At the same time, I dialed Captain Qin's phone. I briefly told Xiaonan. Captain Qin on the other end of the phone was silent for a few seconds. This is indeed the jurisdiction of our 9th section. You are now in the past. I immediately sent a support team to the scene. Remember, don't act without permission until support arrives. Your abilities are weird, but the frontal combat effectiveness is almost zero. Don't joke with your life. Got it. I agreed. But he has his own plans in his heart. And other support groups. The daylilies are cold. Xiaonan's current situation. Each additional second left increases the danger by 1 point. And it's also an opportunity for me. A collection lore point. Opportunity to test new abilities. The taxi quickly arrived downstairs at home and apartment. I walked into Building B. A cold and damp breath came to his face. The more you go up, the stronger the cold feeling. I could even hear it in the air. There was a faint echo. It's like the crackling sound of a keyboard clicking. Finally, I came to the 4th floor. At the end of the hallway is room 404. The knock on the door came clearly. But at this moment, there was no one outside the door. I understood immediately. The overtime ghost is invisible to ordinary people. I took a deep breath, trying to gather the power of the person in the mirror.